Listen. I need to tell you something that might save your life or the life of someone you love. 3 weeks ago, I received a call that shattered my heart. My colleague, Dr. Martinez, a brilliant 52-year-old cardiologist, had suffered a massive stroke at 6:47 a.m. while getting ready for work. A man who dedicated his life to saving hearts couldn't save his own brain. The tragic irony? It could have been completely prevented. I'm Dr. Sarah Chen, and after 23 years in medicine, I've seen too many preventable tragedies. But here's what haunts me the most: Dr. Martinez knew everything about stroke prevention. He had all the knowledge, all the resources, yet he fell into the same trap that claims 795,000 Americans every year. He thought he was invincible because he was doing everything right. But here's the shocking truth that the medical community doesn't talk about enough. 85% of strokes in people over 50 happen between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. Your brain is most vulnerable when you first wake up, and most people are walking straight into danger without even knowing it. What you do in those first 30 minutes after opening your eyes could literally be the difference between independence and disability, between life and death. Today, I'm going to share with you the 12 morning habits that can slash your stroke risk by up to 60%. These aren't complex medical procedures or expensive treatments. They're simple, scientifically backed actions that take less than 45 minutes and cost almost nothing. But before we dive in, I need you to understand something crucial about how stroke risk changes as we age, because this knowledge could save your life. When I first started practicing medicine in my 20s, I thought strokes only happened to elderly people. I was wrong, dangerously wrong. Let me walk you through what I've learned about stroke risk at different life stages, because understanding your personal risk is the first step to protecting yourself. In your 20s and 30s, you might feel invincible. I get it, I felt the same way. But even at this age, stroke can strike. I've treated 28-year-olds who suffered strokes due to birth defects in their blood vessels that they never knew they had. I've seen 35-year-olds whose recreational drug use caused their brain arteries to rupture. The risk is low, but it's real. What's more concerning is that the lifestyle habits you develop in these decades, the late nights, the fast food, the chronic stress, are quietly laying the foundation for future problems. Then comes your 40s and 50s, what I call the warning decade. This is when your body starts sending you signals that you can't ignore anymore. Your blood pressure creeps up. Your cholesterol levels rise. You might develop type 2 diabetes. Your metabolism slows down, and those extra pounds start accumulating around your waistline. This is exactly what happened to Dr. Martinez. He was so busy taking care of his patients that he neglected the warning signs his own body was giving him. I remember Sarah, a 47-year-old marketing executive who came to see me last year. She was working 60-hour weeks, living on coffee and takeout, and her stress levels were through the roof. Her blood pressure had climbed to 158/94, but she kept dismissing it as just stress from work. 6 months later, she had a mini-stroke during a presentation. Fortunately, we caught it early, but it was a wake-up call that changed her entire approach to health. But it's in your 60s and beyond where stroke risk really accelerates. Here's a sobering statistic: your stroke risk doubles every decade after age 55. By the time you reach 80, your risk is 16 times higher than it was in your 20s. This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to empower you with knowledge so you can take action. I think about my patient Robert, who came to me at age 68 after his wife dragged him in for a checkup. He was the classic tough guy who hadn't seen a doctor in 15 years. His blood pressure was sky high, his arteries were clogged, and he was a walking time bomb. But here's the beautiful part of the story: within 6 months of following the habits I'm about to share with you, his numbers completely transformed. At 71, he's healthier than he was at 51. The reason I'm sharing these stories isn't to frighten you, but to help you understand that stroke doesn't discriminate. It doesn't care if you're a doctor, an executive, or a retiree. It doesn't care if you think you're too young or if you believe you're doing everything right. What stroke does care about is the cumulative effect of your daily choices, especially what you do every morning. You see, your brain is like a high-performance engine that needs specific conditions to run smoothly. After sleeping for 7 to 8 hours, your body goes through dramatic changes. Your blood becomes slightly thicker from dehydration. Your blood pressure surges as stress hormones flood your system. Your arteries, which have been relaxed all night, suddenly have to deal with increased pressure and volume. This is why the morning hours are so dangerous. Your cardiovascular system is under maximum stress. But here's where it gets interesting, and this is where hope enters the picture. Despite all these risk factors, despite the scary statistics, strokes are largely preventable. The American Stroke Association estimates that 80% of strokes can be prevented through lifestyle modifications. 80%. That means 4 out of 5 strokes never have to happen if people just knew what to do. This is why I'm so passionate about sharing these 12 morning habits with you. They're not just random suggestions, they're a scientifically designed system that addresses the specific vulnerabilities your brain faces in those critical morning hours. Each habit serves a purpose, and together, they create a protective shield around your most precious asset, your brain. The first habit might surprise you because it's so simple, yet it's the foundation everything else is built upon. I call it the 30-second lifesaver, and it's something you can implement immediately, even tomorrow morning. But before I reveal it, I want you to understand why timing is everything when it comes to stroke prevention. Your body operates on what we call circadian rhythms, internal clocks that control everything from your hormone levels to your blood pressure. These rhythms are why you naturally feel sleepy at night and alert in the morning. But they also create predictable patterns in your stroke risk. Between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m., your body releases a surge of stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure spikes, and your blood becomes more likely to clot. This morning surge is perfectly normal and healthy in young people with flexible arteries and strong hearts. But as we age, our arteries become stiffer, our hearts work harder, and this natural morning activation can become dangerous. It's like the difference between a new garden hose and an old one. Both can handle water pressure, but the old one is more likely to burst at the weak spots. This is exactly what happened to Dr. Martinez. The autopsy revealed that he had significant but undiagnosed coronary artery disease. His morning routine of jumping out of bed, rushing to get ready, and skipping breakfast created the perfect storm. The sudden surge in blood pressure, combined with dehydration and stress, caused a clot to form in an already narrowed artery. By the time the paramedics arrived, the damage was done. But here's what breaks my heart the most about his story. It was completely preventable. If he had known about these 12 habits, if he had taken just 45 minutes each morning to protect his brain, he would still be with us today, still saving lives, still making a difference in the world. That's why I'm here today, sharing this information with you. Because I don't want you to become another statistic. I don't want your family to receive that devastating phone call. I don't want you to wonder what if when it comes to your health. The 12 habits I'm about to share with you aren't just theoretical concepts from medical textbooks. They're practical, proven strategies that I've seen work thousands of times in my practice. They're the same habits that helped Robert transform his health at 68. They're the strategies that could have saved Dr. Martinez. And they're the tools that can protect you and your loved ones starting tomorrow morning. Some of these habits will seem almost too simple to be effective. Others might challenge some assumptions you have about healthy living, but I promise you this, every single one is backed by solid science, and together, they create a comprehensive protection system for your brain. Are you ready to discover how 45 minutes every morning can add decades to your life and life to your years? Are you ready to take control of your stroke risk instead of leaving it to chance? Then let me share with you the first of these 12 life-saving habits. Some may surprise you with their simplicity, but I promise you, each one is backed by solid science and real-world results I've witnessed firsthand. The first habit that can save your life is so simple, you might think I'm joking. But I'm not. It's drinking 1 glass of water the moment you wake up, not coffee, not tea, just plain water. Let me tell you why this 30-second action is so powerful. When you sleep for 7 to 8 hours, your body loses water through breathing, sweating, and other natural processes. By morning, you're mildly dehydrated, and your blood has become thicker and stickier. Think of it like honey versus water, which one flows more easily through a straw? Thick blood is harder for your heart to pump and more likely to form dangerous clots. That glass of water immediately begins thinning your blood and getting your circulation moving again. I learned this lesson the hard way through my patient Margaret, an 82-year-old retired teacher. She used to wake up feeling dizzy and weak every morning, which she attributed to her age. When I suggested she drink water first thing upon waking, she looked at me skeptically. "Doctor, that seems too simple," she said. But she tried it, and within a week, her morning dizziness disappeared. What she thought was just getting old was actually chronic, mild dehydration affecting her brain's blood supply. Keep a glass of water on your nightstand so you don't forget. Room temperature is best because it's easier for your body to absorb quickly. If you want to supercharge this habit, add a tiny squeeze of fresh lemon for extra circulation benefits, but plain water alone will do the job perfectly. The second habit addresses something most people don't even realize is happening to them every morning, a stress hormone explosion. The moment you wake up, your body floods with cortisol and adrenaline, preparing you for the day ahead. But if you immediately start thinking about your to-do list, your problems, or rushing around, you're adding mental stress on top of physical stress. This combination can send your blood pressure skyrocketing. That's why I recommend 5 minutes of deep breathing or meditation immediately after drinking your water. You don't need fancy apps or yoga mats, just sit comfortably and breathe. I teach my patients the 4-4-4 technique. Breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4, breathe out for 4. This simple pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system, which is like hitting the calm down button for your entire body. The science behind this is fascinating. When you breathe deeply and slowly, you're sending signals to your brain that everything is okay, that you're safe. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, and your blood vessels relax. You're literally rewiring your body's stress response before the day even begins. Patients who do this consistently tell me they feel clearer, more focused, and less anxious throughout the day. Habit number 3 is about what you eat for breakfast, specifically what you need to avoid. Most people unknowingly sabotage their morning blood pressure with salty foods. Bacon, sausage, processed cereals, even seemingly innocent foods like bread and cheese can be loaded with sodium. After fasting all night, your blood vessels are more sensitive, and a high-sodium breakfast can cause your arteries to constrict dramatically. I remember treating James, a 59-year-old contractor who couldn't understand why his blood pressure medications weren't working. When we analyzed his diet, we discovered he was starting every day with a breakfast sandwich loaded with bacon, cheese, and processed bread, probably consuming half his daily sodium limit before 8 a.m. Once we switched him to oatmeal with fresh fruit and unsalted nuts, his morning blood pressure readings improved dramatically within 2 weeks. Instead of salt, use herbs and spices for flavor. Turmeric is particularly powerful because it has natural anti-inflammatory properties. Cinnamon can help regulate blood sugar. Fresh herbs like basil or cilantro add flavor without any sodium. Your taste buds might need time to adjust, but trust me, within a few weeks, you'll wonder how you ever enjoyed all that salt. The fourth habit is movement, but not the kind you might expect. I'm not talking about an intense workout, I'm talking about a gentle 10 to 15-minute walk. Your body has been horizontal and inactive for hours, and suddenly asking it to go from 0 to 60 is stressful. A slow, peaceful walk helps bridge that gap between sleep and full activity. Walking does something magical for your cardiovascular system. It gently increases your heart rate, encouraging blood flow throughout your body. It helps your arteries stay flexible and responsive. It boosts oxygen delivery to your brain. And perhaps most importantly, it helps regulate your blood sugar levels, which directly affects your blood vessel health. One of my favorite success stories is Harold, a 73-year-old retired mechanic who was skeptical about walking helping his health. "Doc, I've been walking my whole life," he said. But when I explained that timing matters, he agreed to try a gentle morning walk instead of his usual routine of reading the newspaper first thing. 3 months later, his blood pressure had dropped 15 points, his energy levels had increased, and he was sleeping better. The walk had become his favorite part of the day. If you can't walk outside due to weather or mobility issues, walk around your house or apartment. Climb stairs slowly if you have them. Even 5 minutes of gentle movement can make a significant difference. The key is consistency, not intensity. The fifth habit involves stretching your neck and shoulders, and this one might save your life in a way you never expected. As we age, the muscles in our neck and shoulders become tighter, especially if we sleep in awkward positions or spend a lot of time looking down at phones or computers. These tight muscles can actually compress the blood vessels that supply your brain, creating a type of stroke risk called vertebrobasilar insufficiency. I learned about this connection from treating Linda, a 65-year-old accountant who was experiencing strange symptoms, dizziness when she turned her head, occasional blurred vision, and a feeling of fogginess in the mornings. Multiple tests came back normal until we discovered that her chronic neck tension was restricting blood flow to her brain. 3 minutes of gentle neck stretches every morning completely resolved her symptoms. The stretches are simple: gentle neck rolls in both directions, shoulder shrugs up and down, and slow shoulder rolls backward. The key word is gentle. Never force or jerk your neck. Think of it as waking up your muscles gradually, encouraging them to release the tension they've accumulated overnight. Habit number 6 is crucial but often overlooked. Checking your blood pressure every morning. High blood pressure is called the silent killer because it usually has no symptoms, but it's the #1 cause of strokes. Many people only check their blood pressure at the doctor's office, but that's like checking your car's engine only once a year. Problems can develop quickly. The best time to check is within an hour of waking up, before you've had coffee, eaten breakfast, or done any physical activity. This gives you your baseline reading, which is often the highest and most dangerous of the day. Use a cuff-style monitor, not a wrist device. They're much more accurate. Write down your numbers or log them in a smartphone app so you can track patterns over time. I can't tell you how many patients have discovered dangerous blood pressure spikes through home monitoring that would have been missed otherwise. Patricia, a 71-year-old grandmother, seemed perfectly healthy at her annual checkups, but home monitoring revealed that her morning blood pressure was spiking to dangerous levels. We were able to adjust her medication timing and prevent a potential stroke. The 7th habit focuses on specific nutrients that act like natural blood thinners: magnesium and potassium. These minerals are stroke-fighting superstars, but most people don't get enough of them, especially first thing in the morning when your body needs them most. Potassium helps balance the sodium in your body, naturally lowering blood pressure. Magnesium relaxes blood vessel walls and improves circulation. Together, they create a protective effect that lasts throughout the day. The best part is they're easy to get through delicious foods you probably already enjoy. Start your day with a banana for potassium, add spinach to a smoothie for both minerals, or enjoy a small handful of pumpkin seeds for a magnesium boost. Avocado toast on whole grain bread gives you potassium, healthy fats, and fiber. Plain Greek yogurt provides potassium and protein. These aren't expensive superfoods or complicated supplements. They're common, affordable ingredients that you can find at any grocery store. The 8th habit is so important that if you forget everything else I've told you today, remember this one. Take your blood pressure medication exactly as prescribed. At the same time every morning. This habit alone can reduce your stroke risk by 50%. 50%. Yet I'm constantly amazed by how many patients skip doses or take their medication irregularly. I learned just how critical medication timing is from treating Robert, the 68-year-old patient I mentioned earlier. When he first came to see me, he was taking his blood pressure medication whenever he remembered, sometimes in the morning, sometimes at night, sometimes not at all. His blood pressure was wildly unpredictable, swinging from normal to dangerously high throughout the day. Once we established a strict morning routine with his medication, his numbers stabilized, and his stroke risk plummeted. Use a pill organizer with compartments for each day of the week. Set an alarm on your phone. Put your pills next to your toothbrush so you can't miss them. Whatever system works for you, use it religiously. Your brain depends on consistent blood pressure control, especially during those vulnerable morning hours. Now, as we move into the final 4 habits, these might seem less obvious, but they address some of the most overlooked dangers that occur every morning. Each one targets a specific vulnerability that could literally save your life. The 9th habit is something most people never think about, but it could save your life. Every morning, I want you to spend 3 minutes checking and gently massaging your legs. After lying still for 7 to 8 hours, blood can pool in your lower extremities, creating the perfect conditions for dangerous blood clots to form. These clots can travel to your brain and cause a stroke, often without any warning signs. I learned this lesson from treating Eleanor, a 79-year-old retired librarian who developed what we call a pulmonary embolism, a blood clot that traveled from her leg to her lungs. Thankfully, we caught it in time, but it was a wake-up call that changed how I think about morning routines. Now I teach all my patients this simple 3-minute ritual that can prevent devastating complications. Start by sitting on the edge of your bed and looking at both legs. Are they the same size, or is one more swollen than the other? Any unusual redness, warmth, or pain? These could be signs of a blood clot that needs immediate medical attention. Then, using gentle upward strokes, massage from your ankles toward your knees for about a minute on each leg. Finish by rotating your ankles clockwise and counterclockwise, then flex your feet up and down 10 to 15 times. This simple routine gets your circulation moving and helps prevent those dangerous clots from forming. The 10th habit addresses something that sends thousands of seniors to the emergency room every year: getting up too quickly. When you've been lying flat for hours, your cardiovascular system needs time to adjust to being upright. If you jump out of bed suddenly, your blood pressure can drop dramatically, causing dizziness, falls, and in some cases, strokes due to sudden changes in brain blood flow. I call this the slow and steady saves lives habit. When you wake up, stay lying down for 30 seconds. Let your body begin the transition from sleep to wakefulness naturally. Then slowly sit up on the edge of your bed and wait another minute or two. Listen to your body. If you feel dizzy or lightheaded, wait longer. Finally, stand up gradually, perhaps holding onto the bed or a dresser for support. Take your first few steps slowly and deliberately. My patient Frank, an 84-year-old former pilot, used to pride himself on jumping out of bed every morning like he was still in the military. Then one morning, he stood up too quickly, became dizzy, fell, and hit his head. The fall didn't cause serious injury, but it was a reminder that our bodies change as we age, and we need to respect those changes. Now Frank follows the slow and steady routine religiously, and he hasn't had a single dizzy episode since. Habit number 11 might seem a bit unusual, but it's based on cutting-edge research about how mini strokes often precede major ones. Every morning, I want you to spend 2 minutes doing a basic neurological self-check. This isn't about being paranoid, it's about being prepared and aware of changes in your body that could signal trouble ahead. Stand in front of a mirror and give yourself a big smile. Are both sides of your mouth moving equally, or does one side seem to droop? Say out loud, "Today is a beautiful day, and I feel strong and healthy." Do the words come out clearly, or do you notice any slurring or difficulty? Raise both arms above your head for 10 seconds. Does one arm feel weaker or want to drift downward? Finally, walk in a straight line for about 10 steps. Do you feel steady and balanced, or are you veering to one side? These simple tests can detect the early signs of what we call transient ischemic attacks, or TIAs, mini-strokes that often happen before major ones. Many people dismiss these subtle symptoms as just getting older, but they're actually warning signs that shouldn't be ignored. If you notice any changes during your daily check, don't wait, contact your doctor immediately. Early intervention can prevent a major stroke from occurring. The 12th and final habit ties everything together: eating a proper breakfast within 2 hours of waking up. This isn't just about nutrition, it's about giving your brain the fuel it needs to function properly and maintaining stable blood sugar levels throughout the day. After fasting for 8 to 12 hours overnight, your body needs the right nutrients to support healthy brain function and blood vessel health. Your ideal breakfast should include protein to stabilize blood sugar, fiber to support cardiovascular health, and healthy fats to nourish your brain. Think oatmeal topped with berries and nuts, eggs with whole grain toast and avocado, or a smoothie made with spinach, banana, and Greek yogurt. These foods provide sustained energy without causing the blood sugar spikes and crashes that can stress your cardiovascular system. I think of breakfast timing like taking medication. It needs to happen consistently and at the right time to be effective. Skipping breakfast or eating it too late disrupts your body's natural rhythms and can actually increase your stroke risk. Studies have shown that people who eat breakfast regularly have lower rates of heart disease and stroke compared to those who skip this important meal. Now, let me give you the complete picture of how these 12 habits work together to create a comprehensive protection system for your brain. In those critical first 30 minutes after waking, your body goes through dramatic changes that can either increase or decrease your stroke risk, depending on what you do. When you drink water first, you're immediately addressing the dehydration that has thickened your blood overnight. The deep breathing calms your nervous system and prevents the stress hormone surge from spiking your blood pressure dangerously high. Avoiding salty foods keeps your arteries from constricting when they're most vulnerable. The gentle walk gradually increases circulation without shocking your system. Stretching releases muscle tension that could compress vital blood vessels. Checking your blood pressure gives you early warning of problems. The right nutrients support your blood vessels naturally. Taking medication consistently provides pharmaceutical protection when you need it most. Checking and massaging your legs prevents dangerous clots. Moving slowly prevents orthostatic hypotension. The neurological self-check catches problems early. And eating a proper breakfast fuels your brain and stabilizes your metabolism for the entire day. But here's what I need you to understand: knowledge without action is worthless. I've given you 12 powerful tools, but they only work if you use them. Start tomorrow morning with just 3 or 4 of these habits. Choose the ones that seem easiest or most important to you. Maybe it's drinking water, taking your medication on time, and checking your blood pressure. Build those into your routine first, then gradually add the others over the coming weeks. Remember the FAST acronym that could save your life or the life of someone you love. F for face, look for facial drooping, or an uneven smile. A for arms, check for weakness, or inability to raise both arms. S for speech, listen for slurred or garbled speech. T for time, if you see any of these signs, call 911 immediately. Every minute counts when it comes to stroke treatment, and getting help quickly can mean the difference between a full recovery and permanent disability. Every morning, 2,100 Americans will have a stroke. But you don't have to be one of them. These 12 habits aren't just medical advice, they're your daily insurance policy against one of life's most devastating events. I want you to think about your why. Why is it important for you to prevent a stroke? Is it so you can watch your grandchildren grow up? So you can travel and see the world? So you can maintain your independence as you age? Hold on to that why, because it will motivate you on the mornings when you don't feel like following through with these habits. Your brain has been with you through every triumph and challenge of your life. It holds your memories, your dreams, your capacity to love and be loved. Isn't it worth 45 minutes every morning to protect something so precious? These 12 habits aren't just medical recommendations, they're gifts you give to yourself and your family every single day. Tomorrow morning, when that alarm goes off, you have a choice. You can hit the snooze button and continue with your old routine, hoping that stroke won't happen to you. Or you can get up, drink that glass of water, take those deep breaths, and begin implementing the habits that could add years to your life and life to your years. The choice is yours, but remember, your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. Start tomorrow. Start with one habit. Start with hope. Your brain will thank you, your family will thank you, and most importantly, you'll thank yourself for taking control of your health and your future. Don't wait for a wake-up call like Dr. Martinez received. Don't wait until it's too late. Your stroke prevention journey begins with tomorrow's sunrise and that first glass of water. Make the choice that could change everything.